Alright. So this is going to be a bit of a farewell video, if the lag isn't going to cripple me too poorly. Sort of just a farewell to this world that we had a lot of fun in over the past couple of weeks with this mod pack. Basically going to give an extremely brief tour of the Hydra Base, a tour of the Hydra Fleet Spaceport, and a tour of the Jugger Fleet base. And then Green Shell sort of showed up and didn't really do much because server was just about over at that point. And Red showed up as well, made a jetpack. And a few other people also popped in, but didn't stick around due to performance issues. And there's also Marsum, who his place isn't much to look at. But yeah, this is the spaceport. But I suppose we'll start out at Hydra. So, the Hydra base here was the home base for Delta, Alpha, and Mavi. This is where they messed around with Tinker's Construct and Fire and Ice Dragons. And as soon as things actually load, I'll be able to show you around. Alright, here we are. Sort of had a bit of a minor meltdown loading in here. That was part of the reasons why we decided to call it quits here, is because the pack is just getting to be a bit too laggy, which it really is just the pack itself as well. Like, the server's running fine, but like client side, the pack has been having issues for a lot of people. Personally, I would particularly blame... Oh, good lord. Don't know what that's about. Personally, I would particularly blame the Fire and Ice mod, because it's when we updated that mod when the issues really started to kick off. Like, before that, I never really had issues. Some people had always been having issues, and a few other people are, even now, aren't really having issues. But, yeah, if this weird render glitch, whatever is happening right now, goes away. What's even happening? What even is this? What is this? Is this, no, there's no potion effect. What's going on here? I'm gonna relog real quick. Alright, seems to have gone away. But, you know, the server itself is running fine, but people have just been having issues with the pack, and I blame the fact that, I blame Fire and Ice, because, for me, that's when the issue started. But, there's a few other mods which we consider to be some of the larger culprits for just the lag in general. But, yeah. We've just decided, there's a lot of stuff that we planned on doing on this world that we never got around to, but the lag has just gotten to be too much that some people, even though we have ideas in mind that we want to do, the lag's just not worth it. Yes, we've sort of named a few of our machines. Anyways, yeah, this is Hydra Base. Down here is where they did Tinkers and stuff, coke ovens. I don't really know too much about this place other than just what's in front of your eyes here, because I never really spent too much time here. But here's a little world that I made with chisels and bits. Isn't it amazing? I love it. I also made this little bonsai tree. Yeah, this pack was the very first time I'd ever touched chisel and bits. I also made this wonderful sign here in this bathtub. But yeah, this world was the very first time I'd ever touched chisels and bits. It is also the very first time I've done like an auto crafting system with Planergistics. So a lot of firsts in this world. This is where Delta's bed is. He sleeps under the staircase. Up here is where Mavi had her bed at the very top, and Alpha, I suppose, didn't have a bed. Because void hybrids don't have to sleep. If you didn't, in case you didn't know that. They don't have to sleep. Because they're hybrids of the void. Not quite sure what's up with this low render distance. Why did I set it so low? Take that back up. 12 is fine. Alright, here we go. Now I can actually see. Yeah, they had a little man-made waterfall over here. And as you can see here is the remnants of their quarry hole from when they dug out a quarry and then built their main base in, or what was meant to be their main base. They never really got around to fully developing it. But so here's their solar panel tier 8. Absolutely mad. Oh man. There's many things that Delta made Alpha do that took many hours of grunt work. They had that ender chest that they were using to pass items between each other, because they also had ender pouches that it would connect to. But yeah, that is the portal to the spaceport, but here's a bit more machinery. And hopefully if that render glitch doesn't return, we can go down here again. This is sort of going to be their laboratory. Alpha was working on it. Sort of building it in their quarry hole, just using absolute metric crap tons of marble. Also this computer, Alpha programmed this computer. I helped him, but Alpha programmed it. And the comments he left are amazing. You're gonna have to watch his videos if you wanna get those in full, but like the comments he left there are just beautiful. Oh dear. But yeah, that's his little scrolling text welcome computer. Down here, or up here I should say, is the way you get up to the little balcony that was above the main entry room. Oh, it's a little garden. And this way, I haven't seen this. Apparently these are their offices. This is wonderful. Oh, bit of lag. Oh, he just has a computer there, or a monitor at least. This is a pretty neat little office. I like this office. He did well. Alpha doesn't have a door on his office. Scrub. Ouch. Ooh, ouch. But I believe down this way will be Grillby's, if memory serves me right. Yes, it is. If we also don't rubber band all over the place. He has that little nice Jills and Bits Grillby's sign. If you actually go in here, it's got a little farm where he farms things. But, oh dear. If we go back to that main intersection room and rubber band a bit on the way there. Yep, there you go. It goes back down, or it goes down further, and this was going to be their sort of, their holodeck, that they were going to do a spatial I/O thing with applied logistics, but they never actually built it because Delta did calculations. In order to power something of this size would take an insane amount of resources that nobody felt like collecting. And so they gave up on that. And down here is a void containment. It says keep out, but I don't care about signs. And yeah, down here is just the void. Yes, over here is where they were planning on building their ultimate weapons. Supposedly going to be the most powerful weapons in the game. It was going to be basically a immersive engineering weapon that could shoot potions like infinitely, and the idea was that potions would ignore armor, so that no matter what armor you were wearing, they could just bombard you with harming potions that would just instant death. But apparently it doesn't actually work. It turns out it turned out to be a bit of a dud. So, oh yeah, project failed. Yeah. And seems to be something going on over here as well. Ah, I see. Also, they have their portal to the deep dark there as well. So a bit of glowstone there to keep Alpha in control. But yeah, that's about it for the Hydra base that I know of. Back out on the surface here, they had this pedestal where they originally had a giant dragon statue, but due to its being glitched, they removed it. What's this? Ah. Little tombstone for their dead project for the ultimate weapon. But you can see over here some of the damage that they did with dragons. But yeah, I suppose I'll take you over to the spaceport now. Jug Fleet after that. Oh yeah, this over here was their primary source of power. They were getting power from this. Apparently it was a lot of power in very early game, but obviously they're getting like 99% of it from that solar panel now, because that thing's just absolutely insane. Oh yeah, this is where they would actually process the stuff to actually make the power. But if you go down here, we can head back to the spaceport. So the spaceport was a joint operation between Hydra and Jugger Fleet, and that's why it's been named the Hydra Fleet Spaceport. And this is built by Coca. Coca is a member of the Jugger Fleet organization, just the two of us, me and Coca. We usually had another person, Claire, but due to her inability to run the pack, she didn't stick around long. But she built this place. She also built a Jugger Fleet base. But yeah, this here, if lag stops. Oh boy. This here is a portal that was cheated in. Seems to be off at the moment. Yeah, we cheated that in because when Delta went to the moon, we basically wanted to not be left out on the fun, and so we just cheated in that portal real quick. I wanted to build it legit, but people weren't patient enough to actually build it themselves. So they just cheated it in, to my disappointment. And so we went and checked out the moon. But this is the rocket. This rocket, fortunately, was built completely legit, designed by Coca, made functional by Delta. So, complete and total joint operation here. Delta's the one who ultimately went to the moon, because he's the one who actually knew what to do when he got there. Nobody else did. And we didn't want to be a second Marsim stuck on the moon with no way home. we wanted to show the world how to do this properly. And so, yeah. Yeah, it seems like they've made a bunch of their faces all over the place. But yeah, we had quantum link things here so that we could access our ME systems from here. That's like a lot of cobblestone. But in here is where all the main machinery was for the space program. And then up here was the observatory. If we climb up these steps real quick, we'll find the observatory at the top. Up on the mountain. Yes, here we are. The observatory. And also the astral body data processor. For some reason, that's up here as well. Interesting. But yeah, this spaceport here is at the exact center point between Hydra Base and Jugger Fleet Base in the opposite direction. And so yeah, exact center point, and also not that far away from spawn. I believe it's 600 blocks, I think, from spawn. But yeah, this is where their second tier 8 solar panel is. It's over here powering everything for us. Oh good lord. Oh, I'm down here now. Darn lag. Suppose we can head over here as soon as it stops. Oh dear lord. Yeah, this is sort of like the mini rocket that Delta was using in the beginning, because in order to actually build the engines powerful enough to launch that larger rocket, we needed to get materials that were only available in space. And so Delta had to build a smaller rocket first to actually get there and get those materials. You can see his corpse here. That's where I atomically disassembled him. Right at the end. Yeah, now we can head over to Jugger Fleet. I can give you a tour of the base, or of a base that I actually know quite in depth, and I can give you an in-depth tour of this base. However, first I'll relog to try and clear up a bit of this lag. Alright, so, welcome to Jugger Fleet. This is sort of the main room of our base. This was originally just a cave that we dug out by hand, but Coca made it real pretty. Like, I absolutely love the building that she has done. It is amazing. Like, I probably would have given up on this mod pack, like, much sooner if I didn't have such a great building to log into. Like, this is pretty much what made it worth playing for me. Like, towards the end, is just a great building. I loved looking at it. But yeah, these are all my machines. This is the original ore doubling setup that I made at the very beginning. And then I also splurged out over here, making more machines. And machines all over the place. Yeah, this here is the original room. It was very cramped in the beginning. And here's my regeneration alcove. I got sick and tired of how long the energetic infuser took to recharge my jetpack, because it's 50 million RF in this jetpack, and the energetic infuser, even with max upgrades, only ran at 600 RF per tick, which was impossibly slow. And so I decided to try out these things, these charge pads from Mechanism, which I believe are meant for the robot, but obviously they're not meant specifically for the robot. But that's what Delta told me, but Delta's wrong, because they work for everything, like not even just Mechanism. Like, I can stand on 4 of them and it charges my jetpack like at an actually tolerable speed. But the one downside is, in order to charge my jetpack, I literally just have to stand in there and wait instead of being able to just dump it in the machine and leave, which I suppose that's a decent trade-off. But yeah, this is where we have our solar panels. A bunch of tier 3s, some tier 4s, and tier 6s. I decided that we would stop at tier 6 because tier 7 required the Dragon Egg, I believe. It was either the Dragon Egg or the Nether Star, and then the tier 8 required whichever one was not required by the tier 7. And I didn't feel like farming bosses, and I wanted to be able to mass produce our solar panels, so I decided to stop at tier 7, or tier 6 I mean, because all the materials for tier 6 are easy to mass produce. Except for the blaze rods and the blitz rods that you need for them. Actually, do you need blitz for those? I don't think so. Yeah, I set up automatic crafting for them, though. For Planet Logistics. The very first time I'd ever done automatic crafting with a Planet Logistics. But, yeah. We can craft those as much as we want as long as we have the resources. Which, these are all the resources we have in here. Lots and lots of stuff. So much stuff. Almost don't know what to do with it all stuff. I mean, quite literally, we had so much copper. Yeah, 13,000 copper there, for 13,000 thermal copper, and then another nearly 8,000 mechanism copper. And 156 copper blocks. And also these copper blocks as well. So much copper. People were constantly telling us that we should just build our base out of copper, which sort of did, because up here, where I was planning to build more machines, never really got around to fully developing this area, though. I built a floor out of copper, and a balcony with a floor of silver, and hand railings made of diamond. Really just to flaunt the wealth there. But, yeah, again, though, all this building is done by Coca. Like, it's just such great skill she has. I absolutely love it. However, this down here was all me. I built this area, which is why it looks shit. Yeah, this is where I was planning to do Tinker's Construct. Never really got around to doing it, though. But yeah, up here is how... Oh, and also in here is the engine room. I'll get to this later. But this up here is how I was planning to get into this room over here, though. And this over here was sort of the house that Coco was building. Just decorating the crap out of this place. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, just a skill level beyond anything I could ever possibly achieve. A little porch area up here. You can, like, sit and enjoy the lovely weather that we typically have on this server. TV here. It actually makes noise. Didn't make noise last time we had that mod. Kind of like it. It's a little kitchen area here. But what I find to be the main focus of the build here is just this pit down into the quarry hole. It's rather quite ominous, but it just goes down into the quarry hole. But yeah, this was our first quarry, and also the very first quarry on the server as well. And it was powered by this engine room. And the reason why it was powered by this engine room instead of just a single simple block is because there was no single simple block in our pack that could convert RF power into MJ power, which is what the quarry needed. And so I had to build all this in order to run the quarry, which I actually kind of really enjoyed building this. It was a lot of fun building this and getting it to work. This is, I believe, 36 engines, I believe, in here. And it was able to run the quarry at pretty high speeds. But basically the way it works is the power comes in along these cables here. And it starts out with this igneous extruder here, which generated cobblestone from the power. That cobblestone then went into these 9 magma crucibles, which are upgraded to the hardened crucibles with speed upgrades in them. And they melted the cobblestone down into lava, which was then put into this fluid transposer, which would take empty buckets from this chest, fill them, and then put them into these 2 chests here. And then those chests would filter those lava buckets out into the engines, and the engines would run off the lava to generate MJ power, and then they would send the empty buckets back to be refilled. And then that MJ power would be taken along these energy pipes here. And they'd be taken down underground to where the quarry was, so that they could power the quarry. This is where the quarry originally was for this first hole. It was a lot of fun watching it. It took about 2 days to dig out an entire hole, 64 by 64 maximum size. It took about 2 days to mine it out each time. Yeah, once this was done, after a few days of using up those resources, I ran another hole here, and then another one, and another one. In all the others, I was constantly clearing out the water so it'd be nice and clear like this, so you could fly around in it. But on this 4th one here, I gave up. I just let it do its thing. Yeah, as you can see here, the power pipes connected to the quarry, and then these pipes took it all back to the main base. Which it was very interesting to watch the power just pulsating through the pipe. It was very cool to watch. I absolutely love Buildcraft. It's an amazing mod. Yeah, the items would come up here through these pipes, speed it up a bit, sent into the base. And now we can start looking at the internals, because that's always the fun part. You must understand. Yes, wire access is back here. We start out here. These cables go out to places. I believe this just runs out to the quarry itself and then runs off somewhere else. I believe somewhere. I don't know. That's just what I can see in front of my eyes. But yeah, here are the molecular assemblers for the AE system, and then also our quantum ring and the controller. That's our crafting CPU PC thing, the crafting cores. And this went off to my tinker's room eventually. Well, it does, but never used. But down here is where all the ores would come in, finally. However, that wasn't the first step. I believe we are actually going to have to come back up here and then dig into the ceiling. Oh dear, what happened to my face? Yeah, up here. So this is where the ores would be coming in, and also directly above this is the solar panels. And so it would start out by going to these diamond pipes here, which would sort out all the ores, like the actual ores, to be smelted and to be pulverized and then smelted here, so that we could get double the output from it. And then everything else would be sent down along this pipe, so we could actually watch it flowing through. At first, it would actually just end up in a chest over here, but obviously once we got the ME system, we upgraded everything else to fit as well. We were also originally dumping all our cobblestone into the void as well through the Buildcraft void pipes, but once we got the ME system, we started keeping it all because we needed it all for those quantum singularities for the quantum rings. But yeah, it all ends up here into this chest, and also the smelter and pulverizer also send their output to this chest where it gets inputted into the ME system. This goes up to the terminal over there, as well as the other terminals that are in the ceiling. And over here is a little cable that goes up to the energy acceptor, and also the our advanced inscribers and the crystal growth chamber. And some other machines are up here as well. But here is the ender chest, which we use to get some cobblestone from our digital miner that we're running, which I'll show you that in a bit. But right here, though, if I can get around, there are a crusher and a smelting factory, which are hooked in for the ME system so that it can handle those recipes. Like, for example, turning cobblestone into glass is one of the major things I would do there for crafting solar panels. But up here is the absolute clusterfuck of cables for the machine wall. Just an absolute mess over here. I love it. This is why I enjoy tech mods, is just dealing with cables like that. I really enjoy that challenge of having to get it all to work in such a cramped space like that. I have so much fun doing that. But yeah. So, I mentioned we used a digital miner to collect cobblestone. Basically, when we made those quantum rings to hook up our ME systems at the Spaceport, just to make one quantum singularity for our system took all the cobblestone that we got from 3 quarries. And we obviously needed a new supply of cobblestone, so over here, I set up some digital miners to just dig out all the stone in the area so that we could get a nice supply of cobblestone again. This here's the second one we ran. Yeah, you can see that the actual digital miner is still here, sitting there. It's powered by 2 tier 6 panels. But over here is the first hole we dug, which I find this one to be a bit more interesting to look at because it's a bit more exposed, but you can see just a large volume of ground was just hollowed out except for the ores and other stuff here, which is really interesting to fly around. It's really cool. But yeah, I believe if that's about to be it. Oh yeah, that's right, there's also the stream right by our front door. If the game doesn't lag like there's no tomorrow. Good lord. I'm gonna relog. Alright, hopefully the lag is gone now. Yeah, this little stream here, I absolutely love the streams mod. Because this here, obviously naturally generated, but Coca decorated it with all these plants and stuff to make it look really cool and actually lit up. Absolutely love the streams mod. It's one of my favorite mods in the pack. It's actually a pretty good sized stream as well. Like it winds about the whole area here. But, yeah. That is everything that we've built up in the server over the past couple of weeks. And got into space. So, I suppose all that's left now is for me to give a final send-off to this world. And I thought about what this would be for a little while, and I came to what I find to be a pretty reasonable conclusion. Because you see, if I open up my stats real quick, you'll see I never died in this world. Never died. Where's the actual death count? Where is that? Where is it? It's somewhere around here. I'm just not seeing it. But you can see the time since last death is the same as time played. So you can see I've never died. Oh, here it is. Number of deaths, 0. So yeah, you can see I never died in this world. And it's not like because I was a coward. I wasn't playing like a coward. Like, I was going out and adventuring into caves, gathering resources myself. And I did nearly die on multiple occasions. I just never actually died. And so I decided that a good send-off for this world is for me to finally die. You know? So, here we go. Goodbye, world. This is it. First death. With a bit of lag. It's been fun.